are going to be asking for. So we're going to go over that, like the main business planning foundation, but we're also going to get into the 4 different pillars of your business, which is sales and marketing, finance, growth, operations, and quarterly planning, which allows you to kind of break things up. So on that sheet, we're going to have a look at your total for 2024. In order to plan for 2025, it's always good to have a look back and see what your performance with total conversations, the amount of appointments you've taken, the amount of listings you've signed and sold, as well as buyer appointments and buyers closed, and then of course your total production. And then for 2025, we just need your goal for the amount of listings that you want sold, the buyers that you'd like to close, and your total volume of production. Okay, so if we go over the calculator together, everything in orange is basically what you're going to fill out. So Tommy and Donna, do you happen to have record of how many conversations you had in the last year? Is that something that you track?
Conversations, no.
No, but appointments?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. You don't necessarily need to have the conversations filled out. It's just helpful because it gives you a daily target of how many people you need to speak with. But if you have the amount of listing appointments, and if you keep a calendar, you can also kind of go into your calendar and count the amount of appointments you've been in, as well as buyer appointments. And so for the sake of this calculator, we're not talking about a bunch of different showings for each buyer. We're just talking about one buyer that you may have taken out. So Donna, I'm going to call on you. Do you know how many listing appointments you have been on last year?
I would have to look and see what my total listings is. I've won just about every single listing. There's only a couple that are still kind of in limbo.
Amazing. Well, good for you. Your conversion is outstanding. Or Tommy, do you know how many listing appointments or buyer appointments you've been on?
No.
Okay.
No idea. I never track this kind of thing.
No? Okay.
To be honest with you, I work too many hours. I take care of business. I don't track nothing. I just, I know it's not, I used to track. I used to have a pipeline spreadsheet where I can track all the data. Yeah. I don't know. I never had that recognition that it's going to improve my business in a way if I will track. But but I understand. I mean, we have a CRM, so everything that we do goes through the CRM. So we have that tracked on a CRM, but I don't have specifically something on the side where I go and look at all the details, and then I go to a listing appointment. I want to go and close this. I want to go and close the deal. I don't care if it's need to be written somewhere. If the business is there, I'll go. I'll do what I need to do to convert it to a sale, and then after that, it's going into my database overall, and then we're starting to service the client whatever the clients need. If it's a seller, a buyer, whatever is necessary for us to take care of. But overall, as far as like to have a system on the side and have a track of those kind of things, I'm honest, I'm not staying focused on those kind of things, not those type of activities.
Right. And that is totally okay. The reason why I find it to be important is because it just helps you with the next level of mastery. Because once you know what your conversion ratios are, then it almost gives you a metric that you want to beat year over year. So maybe this year is the year that you start to track, or at least have a vague idea of, on a daily basis, how many people are you talking to? And maybe we can start out with that just to kind of give us a framework. So Tommy, how many people would you say you talk to on a daily basis?
So my goals is through my type of services that we provide and through coaching that I do is to have a minimum of 3 new contacts daily.
3 new contacts daily. Okay.
Yeah. 3 new contacts that eventually at the end of the day, I go to the Follow Up Boss app just before I kind of close my eyes and go to sleep. And then I plug in the information, plug in the data. name, phone number, email, or whatever I have, even if it's just a name. And and then after that, it's just to of course putting the necessary actions to that specific lead. And as far as reminders and everything, this is the next step that I will let my admin do. The next step. But the goal is, of course, to reach out to at least 3 new people daily.
At least 3 new people daily. Okay.
Yes.
And then here's another calculator at the bottom of working days, because then this kind of helps us work backwards. How many days would you say you work a week? Are you full time, like 7 or maybe 5, kind of like an average working day?
6 days. The only day I shut off my phone on Friday night until Saturday evening. I disconnect from everything. I don't work. I don't even have my phone open, so people can't bug me.
No, it's good. It's definitely good to disconnect. And then how many weeks did you work last year? Do you know how many weeks you took off? That might be an easier way to calculate.
Working weeks?
Yeah.
I guess if you take holidays off, it's days. I mean, it's numbers of days, but overall, I mean, let's say out of 52 weeks, if you take, like, let's say we have about, take off a full month of, like, just, let's say, vacations and then holidays. So yeah, I mean, maybe a month off the year. Yeah. Something like that.
Got it. So yeah, so about 48 weeks a year. So that gives you, just so we have a ballpark, about 288 working days annually. For this, I guess for you, it's easy to know how many daily conversations, because that's going to be your 3. But again, this kind of helps us work backwards. And I know it's a little funny looking right now because we don't have the numbers input for the seller conversations. But if we're taking 288 and you are speaking to about 3 people, we can say that, just for the sake of this calculator, to give you a roadmap, you're talking to about 864 folks a day. So let's say it's like
a year.
A year. So let's say 432 on both.
Okay.
And then so how many listings did you take last year? If you're saying that you're aiming for, 100% conversion, how many listings did you win?
2024, I think we took about 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had 24 listing appointments, would you say? Or sorry, what was 24?
Probably, yeah, between 15 to 20.
Okay.
Most of the business is on referrals. So
nice.
When we put listings, I mean, right now we have 20 listings on the market.
Got it.
At this given moment, we have 20 listings, but they're not for sale only. They're for sale and for lease. They're mixed. Or like we have, like right now we have the best winter that we had, I think, since the moment I joined the business and become a real estate agent. It's just because the market is dead. So we have so many listings, nobody with 0 showings, which is amazing.
Last year was the worst year since I think 2008. There were the same amount or less than 2008. So if you even stayed the same and flat, you were doing well. Okay, so you had 15 listings taken, but you still have about 20 on the market.
Right now we have 20 listings, mix of sales and leases. As far as the for sale, let's focus on for sale. So the for sale, because the leases is the leases, I'm not worried about it too much. We just do a lot of leasing business. We have a lot of leasing business. We move a lot of leasing. Like we have a specific clientele that work with us, and we always like putting properties on the market for lease. Some me and partners own personally, and some it's just a lot of investors that bought with me in the last few years, and they, every time when their tenants move in and out, so we take the listings and put them back on the market. So, but as far as for sale listings, we had like, I want to say last 3 months of the year, we had about 5. We had about 5. We canceled 1, we left 1, and we sold 3. This is for the last. This is like I want to say the last quarter of
Okay.
the year. And
But-
then and again, I'm shooting numbers at the year. It's not completely accurate because I don't have my numbers in front of me.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Do you know how many listings you sold last year?
I can tell you. I can. You know what? I can definitely tell you. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can.
And then, and Donna,
For that-
if you
for
can kind of
that,
follow along the
for
same
that,
way and just, you know, fill
for
us
that,
out
I
to the
have
best of your ability.
Yeah, I'm looking at my MLS right now to try to get my
That's
ratio.
what I'm- That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Actually, the MLS will give us the
Yep.
MLS. I can pull a report with the MLS. It's going to give me exactly.
Right for Sunday?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
hi,
think me and
Angela.
Dad bought those dresses.
Angela just joined us. Oh, Ben
Oh.
left. Okay. I'll let you know if she comes back in.
Okay, cool. And then and we also kind of want to split them between buyers as well. If you want to just focus on the total amount, this calculator will still work that way, but it's nice if you kind of have both, because it's also good to recognize your listings and buyer ratio, because in my opinion, they should be pretty equal. I know listing agents love just getting listings, but if we're not capturing the buy side, in my opinion, we're kind of leaving money on the table. So I always like to challenge people to have actually more equal buy and list sides.
So you want us to pull both buyers and sellers, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Let me. I'm actually on the MLS right now. I can pull it pretty quickly. I
Perfect.
can pull a PDF report with all the data.
Great.
Angela,
took-
we're working through a worksheet right now for looking at our 2024 performance. That'll help us better predict or determine what we want to set ourselves up for 2025.
So I'm going to put it in the chat for you as well. And then you can just kind of follow along. And, oh my gosh. And this again is going to help with the roadmap. So if you have the amount of conversations that you've had, as well as the amount of appointments, you can go ahead and fill that in. And right now we're both Tommy and Don are looking to see how many listings they have sold this year.
Okay. Last year I took 20 new listings and I sold 5
Nice. Okay.
of my own listings. I don't know how many of other people's listings I sold, but we don't put that in yet, do we?
Well, if you have, so those are your buyer representations, right? So how do you know, can you see how many buyers you closed?
Yeah. I think I got to do it a different way. No. Selling agent.
Okay. This is for. Let's go to.
Okay. One. 5.
5?
6.
6?
And one of them is a double side.
Nice. Okay. But 5, so 6.
Two of them, sorry. So 7. 1, 2.
Okay, so 7 buyers closed. Do you happen to just have an idea? I know that you're, 100% for your listing appointments, but do you have any idea on how many times you have to take a buyer out before one actually transacts?
No.
No? Okay, we're gonna just
What?
okay, a lot. So maybe we'll say just 20. Does that sound about right?
I'd say buyers are about a 20% conversion.
Oh, 20% conversion. Okay.
Yeah.
Buyer conversion conversations.
Sellers are easier.
Sellers are a little easier for you. Okay. And then right now I kind of have you and Tommy's numbers mixed on here. Do you have an idea of how many people you spoke to on a daily basis last year?
I couldn't tell you. I do not cold call.
Yeah, and that's okay. Just maybe conversations that you've had with folks. So not necessarily dials out, but just conversations.
If I average it out, I'd say probably 3 to 5.
3 to 5. Okay. And then in terms of your working days per week, are you like Tommy and are you working about 6 days a week?
Yeah, I'm full time.
Okay. And then taking maybe about a month off, like 4 weeks off for the year. Does that sound about right to you too?
Yeah, the average day off plus holidays.
Okay, cool. So then we're kind of looking at this about the same amount of conversations. And again, the reason why this is important is just to help you create that roadmap of, your daily metrics that you need to hit, but you kind of already had that number already. So Dawn, a final question. Do you have in front of you what your total production for the year is?
Not off my head, no.
Okay.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
It was 44,000. That was my GCI.
Oh, that was your GCI. Do
So
you know
my
what
production? Yeah. Oh gosh, no.
No?
I have another spreadsheet that I put all that in, but I haven't updated it in a couple of months. So
Got it. Okay. But your total GCI was 44,000. And do you have an estimate on what your average commission rate is? Is it like a 2, 2.25, 2.5?
it's mixed because I have land which is at 5%, and then houses are at 3%. Excuse me. So
Mhm.
we could go with 4%.
Okay, let me see.
4% on average.
Okay, so if this, okay, so
No, let's stick with 3% because the land is a lot less expensive, or a lot less. The price point is a lot less, and then I sell more of it. So we'll just stick with 3% across the board.
Okay, and let me see if this math is kind of right because it seems a little. Okay, so does 1.5 million sound about right for your production?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds close.
Okay, cool. And then Tommy, what about you?
Okay, there's a lot of details. What do you want to know exactly?
Okay, I would love to know. So, for Donna, before we move on to Tommy, this is kind of what your sheet should look like here before I kind of go over Tommy's numbers. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then, okay, so Tommy, what was the amount of listings that you sold?
Okay, let's see. Residential 6. Okay. Let's see. Inventory summary. Not include. So you only care for the sales, not listings, right?
Just the listings that you sold.
Just the listings for sale. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So what we have here, this is okay. Coop listed, sold. That's buyer representation. So that's buyer representation, I guess.
Do you have the number of buyer presentations you went on?
So buyers. Okay, so it's look like Coop listed sold we have a sold volume. So the coop listed sold, I got a volume of 14 transactions. When I'm saying coop listed, it's representation of a buyer, right?
Okay. So
And 14 transactions with a sold volume of 6,007,200.
6 million.
6,007,200. That's the
Seven-
sold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the co-listed the coop listed sold. That's like representation of buyers.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
That's on my side.
Yeah.
You want Rachel's as well, as because we work as a team, or just myself?
If it's easier, we're just going to focus on you. If you've already got
Okay.
those numbers pulled, we'll just focus on you. And then, okay, so you've got about 6 million in volume, 14 buyers closed, and then for your listings.
For the listings, what else? Okay, for listings, let's see, listed sold, listed coop sold. So I guess it's kind of mixed between me and Rachel because maybe I put a lot of volume on her. Coop listed sold. Okay, so here it is. Coop listed sold. Okay, so we got. Okay, so let's see. Coop listed sold. Co-list sold. Okay, so I guess we have noting this. Okay, those are a lot of leases. So I guess we got 1, we got 2. So I see 2,
Uh-huh.
but again, it's kind of mixed because
Because you've got Rachel as well.
yeah, because okay, so we have MetaQuest. Okay, so I've got now it's 3. So it's 3 listings here.
Mhm.
Because the volume here shows on my end, it shows listed coop sold. I guess it's together co-list because I got it's breakdown to listed sold and listed co-list sold. So it's with Rachel, but
Got it.
yeah, because I can tell you that we had because in some point I put a lot of listings under her name.
Mhm.
But I can tell you that those are leases, and yeah, that's still hollow. Yeah, I want to say that's Twin Brooks, and then that's Berkeley. That's okay. That's that's buyers as well. So I want to say as far as like air volume shows, listed. Let's say listed. He now sold 0. I want to say yeah. So as far as like listings, as far as what I see, something like in like going through 2024, and I recognize the edges as well. So I see 1, which is 1 that sold for 350,000, and then we have another one. Those are buyers. Coop listed sold. Yeah, those are buyers. And then we have another one.
Total sales volume, 7,157,000.
Oh, Jess, you've got it?
Between the two,
Mhm.
sellers and buyers, 7,157,000.
That's sellers and buyers, but I think she only wants sellers.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I already have your buyers. It's okay for your total production to combine it. So 7,157,000. Jess, does that look right?
Yep, 250 at the end.
Okay, great. So, the
So-
total. Okay.
So I have I got a little bit different numbers because I've joined Radius on June of 2024.
Yeah, this is coming
Oh,
from the MLS. I'm using a tool.
Oh, you
that
pulled
MLS
you pulled
data.
MLS, yeah. So I see sold volume of 7,787,45. This is
That might
on
be one
me.
of Rachel's that wasn't attached to you. So
okay.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
between me and Rachel,
just give
So
him
we
8
got-
million. Give him 8 million.
We're gonna go for 8 million, Tommy. for simplicity. But that's a great goal.
Actually,
Don't
actually,
actually
let me give you the exact number because it's way more than that. So
Oh,
once you-
wow.
Yeah. So 3,967,640. So the volume sold around our brokerage for 2024, including everything, it's 11,748,385.
All right.
Got it?
I got it. So
Perfect.
do you also have the sides? Because now we're talking about your whole brokerage, but
It's both me and Rachel.
okay, cool. So we've got then this is 3 listings and 14 buyers. And it looks like your average sale price is just shy of 700,000. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we didn't have much listings, and we had way more on the buyer side, but one of the listings that we did sold was 1,075,000 in Prosper, so that's
Fair.
increased the average dramatically over there.
Yeah. No, that's great. Okay, great. So now we have an idea of what your 2024 performance is. And I really urge you to keep track and know your numbers, because in order to hit your big goals that Jess mentioned, it's really important to be able to track and make sure that you're on point, right? Especially if you have Follow Up Boss, you can use Follow Up Boss to track all of your deals as well. And that'll be super easy since it seems like you're in Follow Up Boss a lot.
Okay.
So this kind of gives you all the conversion ratios, which is going to give us a little bit of a roadmap for next year. So what are your 2025 goals in terms of listings that you want sold and buyers closed and your total production?
Based on what we had in 2024, I always look at, I'm always, rather stay realistic. Of course, I can shoot to the sky, but if we stay realistic, so I would like to at least to double. I always look at the previous year, and I want to move to the next year to double whatever my production was. So yeah, definitely. Or just go back to 2021. We sold 50 homes. That's going to be amazing.
Who doesn't want that?
2021 was such a great year. We all want to go back there. Minus the COVID part.
Yeah, the post-COVID time was incredible. Then after 2021, it's just like a slide down. So our numbers, our production is like we're producing half of what we used to produce. So, and in 2021, I've sold 40 homes myself.
Wow.
most of the volume was myself, because Rachel joined me in mid 2021 as a rookie, and I had to sell all those houses and to train a rookie. It was like,
yeah.
unique,
it's possible, right? It's possible.
Yeah.
So again, the point of the planning session is to understand what your goals are and find more ways and opportunities to create those opportunities for you. So we want to double everything. So we want to take 6 listings, is that right? And then get 28 buyers? Or do we want to kind of try to aim for a little bit more listings?
I want to aim for at least half and half on productions. 2021 and 2022, I was about almost at the ratio of 50-50. And I would like to go back to the ratios on 50-50. I took less listings in 2024 just because sellers didn't want to sell.
Yeah.
Everybody was sitting on the fence, especially in the last few months. Buyers too. So, but I think overall, where we really hitting our plateaus, in my opinion, is that we are just not we're not creating new relationships. We are too depending on referral business too much, and that's what really, in my opinion, our numbers drop. Yes, we can blame the market, we can blame the economy, we can blame anybody, we can blame so many people. But at the end of the day, you have to blame yourself. What can you do? What can you do to improve? So after looking on the previous years, and also right now, after becoming a broker where you have more experience and you have more prestige around your name, you're not just a realtor running there, so I think it's there is actions that have to be taken on regards to marketing, rebranding, and really right now when I'm focusing in the morning and I'm trying to get at least 3 new connections, even if I go through my referrals, even if I go through my SOI, but I'm doing actions that I've never done. So there is a possibility to increase inventory and to increase volume of units sold just
Absolutely.
because of those type of actions.
Yes. And that's what we're going to get into with the sales and marketing section, and just like kind of give you more ideas on what you can do to increase those opportunities to talk to more people. So Tommy, just to make sure I'm understanding, you want to keep kind of the same amount of size, or you want to double the amount of business you did last year, but you want it to be a more 50-50 ratio. So we're kind of looking at 17 listings and 17 buyers closed, which is double the amount of sides from last year.
If I'll double my volume, if I'll double my sold volume, and I'll get to more than $22 million in 2025, it's going to be very important that I will do that, because I'm going to be able to make enough money to support my family and support my community, continue to do what I do. But also it's going to help me to save enough money on the side, because eventually this year I want to put a foundation for opening my own brokerage and start recruiting agents. So this something that it's a firm goal that I put for myself. I think it's more important than even production and volume and money and everything, because that's the next step. That's the next step, that we can really increase those volumes of numbers, not just through our sales, through other people's sales.
Agents, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, and we'll definitely get to the growth piece as well. So again, just to recap, you want to do 23 million in order to help fuel all of those. So for your goal next year, we're looking at 17 listings sold, 17 buyers, and 23 million in production. Does that sound like a good goal for you? Is that
amazing? I'll be very happy with that goal.
You'll be very happy with that goal. Yes.
Very happy.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great. And so it looks like, okay, so the daily conversations is actually up to 10 if we're looking at this. So maybe let's actually, the conversations, if you already have that goal of 3, that's just going to confuse us here. But in order, if we're have the same ratio, because you're saying that you get pretty much every listing you go on, or that's your goal, right? Do you know, do you have a recollection last year of how did you win every single listing, or did you maybe lose some, which is it's completely fair if you did. I'm not, shooting that down.
Again, those listings was earned through like
Referrals.
existing clients.
Got it.
Most existing clients or referrals, and when it's so direct like that, so you don't really have to. I mean, yes, of course, you have to do what you have to do. You have to prove yourself, but at the end of the day, there's not a lot of conversion there. I mean, I think this year is going to be. The real proof in the pudding will be to go to new people, meet new people, new listing appointments with people you don't know, and then you just need to, of course, you have to tell them about you and your services and your experience and your reputation, and then and then also compete with other agents. That's a true listing. That's a true. I guess the competition conversion.
Challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the real challenge.
For the sake of this, we're just going to say that it might take you 2 listing appointments to get to 1 listing. And again, Tommy, this is why it's super important to track, because then next year you can say, okay, that was my goal. I want to get at least 1 out of every 2, but I want to make sure I'm improving myself year over year. So maybe it's going to be a 1.5 conversion for the next year. So it's just kind of setting those benchmarks so you know how to improve. Because if you don't know, then you're like, yeah, I'm doing great, but you don't really know how much better you're doing, right? And just this brief conversation with you, it seems like you are someone who really values being able to improve on themselves. So that's why tracking is important.
That's the problem I have. I always so hard on myself. That's the major problem.
Well, it's also important to be kind to yourself and know that you are always growing, but it is also good to have those good benchmarks.
I would make maybe a comment or suggestion. Your training and your goals for us and what you're trying to move us towards are pretty amazing. But do we have something as far as a system where we can track easily, where it can be easily done. We don't have to go through like CRMs, or we don't have to go and, we went to an appointment, something that we can easily go and update a system like with a click of a button, or just like a spreadsheet that's going to be easy and not too complicated.
I honestly believe that Follow Up Boss is such a great system to track that, because you can input, when the appointment is, then it's going to be put on your calendar. So if you use Follow Up Boss, and that's actually, I think, maybe my next slide, if we want to kind of move along, so now that we're going into the sales and marketing section, your CRM is absolutely vital to your business. If you don't have a CRM, you're kind of letting all those conversations that you're working so hard to get fall by the wayside, because then it's going to be really hard to track, oh, when am I supposed to talk to that next person? So I love the fact that you're using Follow Up Boss, and because it is so robust, you can track all of your deals there too. So you don't need to go running around looking for your numbers. You can also track all of your appointments. So I recommend, and if you want, we can set up another session after this to do one-on-one, like how to really use and optimize your Follow Up Boss to track everything.
Yes. Not just optimized. I would like you to give me your bottom line solution. Right now, I have 400 people in my database. Everybody know me from those 400. It's my SOI. What do I need to do today, right now, to start converting from that list?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing for me, because if I will use that 400 that I know, that know me, know my name, because if I pick up the call, it's going to be easy to break the ice pretty quickly, because those people on the other line, they already know me, they already know my name, they already know my profession. What do I need to do? What type of sales script I need to be prepared with to convert them to clients, wake them up from their debt, I should say, because they're sitting on the fence. They're buyers and sellers. That sellers become sellers, because that there was buyers that purchased with me. What do I need to do to convert them, or even to ask for new business of people that they know?
Yeah.
What's going to be the best sales pitch? Because I think also something that I never did, cold calling. Even though again, it's not cold calling. I know those people. So.
Yeah,
but it's cold calling. Let's do it. I'm ready to do it.
I mean, it's so holistic, right? There isn't a magic script to get someone to buy. It's going to be a continual proof that you are an expert in your area. And whenever they are, because no one's necessarily ready to just buy a home right now. Like, even if you have the perfect script, I'm not going to just buy a house with you, because I'm not ready at that point. The point is, having a CRM keeps you organized, helps you keep track of all of your conversations, make sure that you're following up with them, so that when we are ready to buy, it's like, oh, obviously, Tommy, I'm going to buy with you, right? So there isn't that magic script. It's just a matter of keeping up and not letting people slip through the cracks. So the fact that you have Follow Up Boss is amazing. I encourage you, and we can sit down to go into that in a little bit more detail, but Follow Up Boss is definitely the right way to go. And then we can go into those strategies maybe in a separate conversation. But if you don't mind, Donna, do you have a CRM?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, right now I'm using KV Core. But
KV Core?
It might go away soon.
Okay. If it does go away, is it going away because of you, or because KV Core is just going away?
No, because I'm going away.
Oh, okay.
So I do have a backup that I will be using.
Okay.
It doesn't have a website attached like the KV Core does, but
yeah, and to the same point that I made to Tommy, it's just so important to have a CRM, because again, it's not a magic script. It's just a matter of following up with people and making sure that you're top of mind. So whenever they are ready to transact, you're there. And as I mentioned, a really robust CRM is going to help you keep track of your appointments, your conversations, your deals. So everything is just in one little view, and you don't need to keep going to a few different places.
Yeah, my new CRM does all that for me too.
Okay, perfect. So I'm glad that you both have CRMs. And then now we're going to dig into a few different ways of looking at at new opportunities to get new business, right? So Tommy, you want to figure out, okay, out of these 400 people, maybe I can't get all of them to transact right now, but how can I then grow my database to 500 to 600 people by adding, 3 new people every day, which I think is a great goal. And so we need to think about the lead sources. So having a look at where all of your past transactions came from, which seems to be referrals, you can kind of then see where you need to lean in to be able to generate more opportunities there, or find adjacent sources that can add to complement your existing flow of business. So if you're getting a lot of referrals, I'm going to say that's like your sphere of influence that keep giving them to you. So in my opinion, it really is nurturing all of your relationships and also being able to follow up in a meaningful way with knowledge and expertise to show that you are the best agent to fit their needs. And then Donna, for your lead sources, do you have a clear lead source?
So I do get a lot of referrals from, not referrals, but leads from Zillow that are pretty fantastic. I get some from homes.com. I have a lot of conversations through Facebook Marketplace, which is why my buyer ratio is so low, because a lot of them are garbage. But I have converted a few of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
And so I'm guessing with online leads, they're kind of scattered all over the place. There isn't like a specific area or geographic area that they're coming from.
No, and my county is very big, so I have a very large, pond to fish from.
And then Tommy, what about you? Are your clients kind of scattered around the Dallas area, or are they more concentrated in a specific area?
As far as the service goes, like where they want to purchase?
Where they have purchased. If you look at all of your transactions on a map, are they in like one area, or are they kind of scattered all over Dallas?
All over.
All over? Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I ask is because, kind of skipping over to the geographic area, if you did have a specific area that you already had a lot of business in, it does make sense to kind of lean into that and either set up regular postcards and kind of create that farm for yourselves. Is that something that does interest either of you to because you love maybe where you live and you see that there's a lot of opportunity there?
Yes and no. Like I said, our population is very sparse and it's spread out over a large geographic area, so not as much. I have done some not geographic, what do you call it? Demographic farming.
Kind of like via Facebook?
Well, no, so like next to sell or probate, that kind of thing.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I've done that to target specific groups of people. But for the most part, no. And the postcards I've done, I don't do just listed sold postcards unless it's a house, which, like I said, my ratio for homes versus land is also towards land, so I don't do that as much. Yeah. But I do send out just sold postcards.
Yeah, postcards are, it's a commitment. Sending a postcard here and there, it's nice to be able to get your word out, but in my opinion and experience, having postcards really needs to be a regular thing. I might reserve that for when you have a dedicated area that you definitely want to farm. But it sounds like both of you have kind of a scattered geographic area because you are getting either online leads or just referrals who are everywhere. So having an online presence is really a great way to start and establish yourself as a great agent, so that whenever you are having those conversations with people, everyone is going, if someone's serious about working with you, they're going to stalk you first. So have either of you Googled yourself recently just to see what's out there and what people will find when they find you?
Yes. And I'm going to do it again right now just because.
Yeah. What about you, Tommy?
I asked ChatGPT about Tom Merlinkry and get all the answers.
Oh, wait, I beg your pardon?
I'm saying I ask ChatGPT about myself and I get all the answers that I need.
That's so funny. Do you think clients are using ChatGPT to look you up, or do you think they're going to Google?
Listen, whoever is not going to adapt to AI in the next year or two, it's going to be so left behind, especially in our industry.
Mm.
I'm starting to adapt all my services. I want to get to a point where honestly, I don't want to answer the phone anymore. I want everything handled by a robot, and then I just need to go and meet people.
Well, you are at the right brokerage for that, because Radius
Yeah,
definitely
the
is the
AI
most advanced with their AI. Yeah.
the AI brokerage, absolutely. So
Yep.
as far as like your question, so I do want to ask you something. So I had a couple of great plans as far as like very direct and very targeted marketing. As far as so I have an opportunity. I got an opportunity here in my market where I live, where I reside, where I wanted to kind of drop a very specific Corfect campaign. We already created the Corfect relationship through Radius, and we had selected 12 postcards, and wanted to make it very impressive. So I selected the largest size of postcard. I didn't initiate it because I kind of also decided that I'm going to rebrand myself differently than what I used to do. I got to realization that sometimes I provide too much information and I don't create curiosity on the other side, which also, so I decided kind of to change my brand. I'm going to change my brand and my personal brand. And then as far as delivering the content, so yes, I can start the campaign and focus on 500 homes, which is about 350 in my community where we live. It's a semi-gated community in Fort Worth, Dallas. A great price point, great price range. I might gonna do it just because I've earned some great business here before in the past from like very simple like back to school event, that cost me maybe $500, and we got like 2 listings of one was a 750 and another one was $1 million back in 2023. And then we kind of stopped those events for some reason, not sure even why, but I think it's maybe postcards and then dominate that great community will be great for the next few years. As soon as the market will be better, rates will go down, sellers will wake up, more buyers will have the ability to afford more once the rates are down. So it's going to be a great opportunity to really achieving more business from my current community. And I also have an opportunity to run to the HOA. It's going to opens up. So if I'll be a part of the HOA as a board member, I'll be their only real estate broker sitting on the board. So it might be another opportunity there to even disclose that I'm sitting on their board. And I don't mind to even disclose it because it's a public disclosure anyhow. Whoever the members are sitting on the board, so I can take advantage of it and use it through my postcards. But I also spoke with colleagues from our industry, and they said that postcards are nice and it's nice for the brand, but it's really not what's create the business, what's really convert. So my question for you is, should I focus primarily on creating new rebranded content for myself and just focus it on social media, but very heavy?
Yeah, I think, well, number one, postcards, I think the biggest challenge with that is the cost, right? Because why not send them out if it's so easy to? It's just, it's expensive and you need to keep it up. So yeah, I do recommend, if you already know that you want to be in the specific community, you may not need to set up the postcards, but do find yourself a way to involve yourself in the community as you already have joined groups. Maybe you even want to create them. But when you do that, it's also, another thing you could do is door knock and cold call. I work with a team right now. He actually stopped doing postcards for last year and hired an ISA to call the farm. And he generated about $11 million in listings from just the cold calling versus he barely got any calls from his postcard. So if you really want to immerse yourself in the community, you can certainly do that. But yes, I also recommend having an online presence, because not everyone is advanced as you in terms of AI, nor do they believe in it. They're still going to be Googling you. And when you have a social media presence, it's a really great way for people to get to know you and be familiar with you. Because there's that other school of thought that says people are going to work with you when they know, like, and trust you. So being out there in the open, having a good social media presence is going to be a good way to be able to get in front of people, involve the community. Maybe you have, once a week you go to different businesses and you showcase, the community or what it's like to be a part of it, because people aren't just buying a house, they're buying the community. And once they are also familiar with that area, it's going to get them more excited to want to be a part of it and a buying part of it, if that makes sense.
They're buying lifestyle. That's what they're
Yes.
buying.
Exactly. So do you have a website as well, or?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an ugly ass website, but I do have a website.
But it's out there. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
there. I'm actually debating between. So I'm sitting on the fence line in regards to a couple of companies, Agent Fire and Ylopo, and I also spoke with Luxury Presence. I've seen all the demos from all the corners, all the sides, and Ylopo is something that right now Zaki from the app development team, Zaki will check with his people just to double check that maybe Ylopo can come in, because Ylopo have a pretty cool system and as far as what they have to offer.
Yeah.
And as far as their lead generation, and as far as like they also have something very unique. Maybe Donna should know about it. I'm not sure which website she's working with as far as like website creator, but the Ylopo offering, which is cost you only $100 a month, they're going to your database, your current one, and they call that, she called it, I guess there is a term to it. I actually wrote it down. So it's called reinvigorate. I said it right?
Reinvigorate?
Reinvigorate. Yes. So their reinvigorate system, taking your current database, you only pay $100 a month for it, and then it's pretty much creating, taking the AI tool, and starting to text messaging, and starting to create out of nowhere, pretty much like, but it's starting to create like the communication into through your entire database. It's also going to send them automatic emails. You can also go into details and even plug your database, like let's say all the sleepers, all the people that you helped them to purchase. And right now they have a good equity. They bought 3, 4, 5 years ago. They're sitting on your database. You're barely speaking with them. Maybe invite them to one client appreciation event once a year at the end of the year if you do. And probably 80% of them not even going to show up. We experienced that too in 2024. And so that system will do the work for you to start communicating. And this is something that Ylopo offering for $100 a month. Yeah. But it's just a fraction, because their fee a month, it's about $1,100 for the whole shebang.
Ylopo is a great comprehensive tool. Again, it's nice to have tooling that does many things at once. And it can integrate with your follow-up boss. So you can actually see out of everyone in your follow-up boss who has re-engaged with the Ylopo. Ylopo kind of uses follow-up boss to signal.
Yes.
So I think it's a
You'll
great
get notifications.
It's a great way to get a website that also lead generates, but also follows up. But I will also caution against just letting it do its thing. It's always good to have that extra human touch. But again, having those daily practices of following up as well. But I do recommend, continuing that conversation with Ylopo, because I know a lot of successful brokerages that have adopted it and use it to generate more leads and keep them engaged, as you said. And then what about email? Do you guys do any kind of email marketing? Or I guess Ylopo could also help out with that too, right? Because it does the automatic emails.
Yes, I do.
Perfect.
Email marketing, in my opinion, it's nice. I paid about $35 a month for cheap mail. Email marketing is nice. I send newsletters every week. Every Friday, we have a newsletter with market data sending to like 700 people.
Oh, okay.
Waste of time and money.
Oh, so, okay. It may or may not. I think email marketing it's a good way. It's a low cost, $35 in comparison to the $1,100 that you might pay Ylopo, in my opinion, is a lower fraction. And then I think MailChimp, you can also see who's opened it up and is engaging, but it's just a good way, as some people say, to grease the wheels. Because again, not everyone's just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a house right now because I got this email from you. But the email helps them keep you top of mind for whenever they are ready. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And so
I
I
mean-
think it's great that you're doing it. I wouldn't necessarily give that up. What I would do is just make sure they all tie together. And the thing that just makes me because you said you have 700 people in your email, but you only have 400 people in your follow-up boss. So
The MailChimp is a cumulative of names of of contacts between my database, my SOI, and also a lot of other leads collected from Zillow through my inbox through the years. We started about 900, and it's got down to 700 because so many unsubscribed, of course. But right now, the number of this, it's about 680 to 700. It's very solid. We send a weekly newsletter every Friday with video. We're creating a video as well about market data, and then we drop down, put of our headshots and everything, and then on the bottom portion of the newsletter, we're putting all of our inventory with direct links to all of their single property website or Zillow listings, whatever available online. Every Friday I send it out at the end of the day, and I'm also repeating it on Sunday, so they get it twice in case they didn't open it on Sunday and it's washed away on their inbox.
Right.
So I send this newsletter twice. I didn't got any business out of it. Maybe one time I got a response from someone that received that. It wasn't even someone that I knew. I follow up. I followed up. It's probably one of the Zillow leads, like probably back in the days. And I followed up, and nothing really came out of it. I mean, as far as the conversion on that, but I guess again, it's just maybe good to stay, in their eyesight as a brand.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing that's going to drive results. It's the sum of many things that you're doing in conjunction with each other, right? So again, everything kind of helps to grease the wheel to move along. So the fact that you already have the emails going, you have the Zillow leads, we just need to kind of have a system that puts it all together. And I think you have a lot of the components there. It just might be a need to really streamline it and be a little bit more organized in your specific daily follow-up and how you approach each of these things. Because if you're like, I'm doing it, but I don't think it works, then we're not like believing in that specific action. And we need to figure out how it all fits together
I believe in everything I do.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Everything I do, I believe in it 100%. If not, I'm not going to do it. The newsletter is something that I literally started in 2024, and this is why we got the MailChimp, account, and it was important to me that I will touch people through a newsletter as well. Matter of fact, some of my current VIP clients, I even got a reaction, and they said, "Oh wow, we got your newsletter, and it was really nice with the video and all the inventory, and we saw our listing over there." So, I think it's also, and it's actually created a conversation between me and a client of mine. He said, "What do you think? I only market to a fraction of people. I also making sure that your listing is broadcast delivered to all my database, which is close to 1,000 people, so I think overall is a tool of a conversation creation and actually it's a proof that you're not just putting a listing on the market on MLS and you're sitting like that. It's a proof that you do so many things.
You're being an active agent. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Sorry. You just mentioned how you think you didn't like it, but no, I'm glad that you believe in it because it does work. And again, it's having all of these different avenues out that help you increase your sales. So it's a way to get those 3 new conversations that you can add to your follow-up boss, right?
as long as I don't do it, I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got the systems at work, it's good. And then,
Yes.
so if you have the emails going out, and then maybe they could be a little, you've got all your listings and stuff, but if you really want to be more involved in the community, you can start to include things that are happening in your area to those as well.
I think,
But-
by the way, I think something you're speaking about the geographic and just in generally to master your area or to like you said, like farm your specific area. I think something that I've saw before in the past that really converted to real business, real money, and had a great success, events. It's
Yes.
by far we did in the last couple of years, couple of nice events. We didn't even spend too much money. We it was a back to school, one was a Halloween event, and we did those events in our community.
Mhm.
We posted it correctly. We did a video introduction. We sent some postcards. We even used the HOA website to announce it,
Nice.
and we got people coming in. We brought sponsors, provide us like moon jumper, food, stuff like that. We even did raffle with prizes,
Oh, nice.
and it's got us to listing close to $2 million. Just
Heck yeah.
those events.
That's
and
perfect.
then we were stupid enough to stop those events. I don't know
No.
why.
Bring them back. And so it's great
No,
to
absolutely.
have an idea of what you want to do so that you can now plan for all the events for the year, just so at least it's on your calendar. And then, your team can start to getting prepared for those and not forget about it. So definitely.
I'm doing 3 events this year. I already committed to that. I'm doing
Yes.
3 events. I think I don't care what type of business it's gonna bring, but as far as recognition, and it will bring business for sure.
Yeah.
But as far as the recognition and as far as like the brand, it's incredible, really good, really great
Yeah.
events.
Amazing, especially if again you want to be more involved in that community. So yeah, well, and then at the end of this, I'll show you how we can kind of plan everything out for your calendar. But I know we're actually been on for over an hour, so I love that this is so interactive. I just want to be a bit mindful of time. I'm not sure if you guys have to go anywhere, but we can be as in depth as you want it to be too. So for finance, Tommy, I know that you had some financial goals as well for savings and investments. And so if we go back to that calculator, there is a spot for you to plan, or let me move that guy over, your finances for the year. So these, again, anything that's highlighted in orange are fields that you can play around with. So this is kind of for Donna, for you, this might be 3% average. And then the broker split, I believe it might be 10%. And then it gives you what that gross GCI is. And for tax, unfortunately, that's one bucket that we always have to kind of put away for and plan for. In this case, I did 30%. If you have a really great accountant, hopefully is less than that, but that's just a good kind of benchmark to make sure, okay, I've got that kind of planned and saved away. To calculate your personal expenses, if you don't, there is a section for you. You can do this on your own to write out exactly what your personal expenses are and what your business expenses are for the year and plug it in. Right here.
By the way, Audrey, the link you sent is view only. Can you open it?
Yeah. So if you open it, I think this might be you, the little tiger. So you will just go to file.
Okay.
And then make a copy.
Make a copy.
Yes. And then that's yours. That you can take with you.
Okay. So you just go to file and you just do make a copy?
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
File, make a copy. And then you just save it. I can save it on my drive, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. Save it on your drive. And then it's nice because it just stays with you all the time. You can even look at it on your phone if you need to. But yeah, it's really just a calculator. You can still use it to track everything. But I have another template as well in case you wanted it. But here, this, because I've already plugged in your numbers, Tommy. So this is based on a total production of 23 million. Your gross GCI should be close to 575,000. Your net GCI after tax, after your broker split, about 517. Once we take away the 155 that's going to go to taxes, you're left with about 362. Again, this is your goal. So if you have any idea what your personal expenses were for the year.
Personal expenses, I can, as far as like family and,
Just,
whatever.
just a quick, like,
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that easily, I want to say, let's say, I mean, it's easily like 12 grand a month. That's before like any type of leisure. That's like basic
just basic.
core expenses, mortgage, cars, insurance, food.
Okay,
pretty much.
cool.
Yeah.
And then what about business expenses? Do you have an idea?
Business expenses, I mean, without starting something like new obligations, it's easy 3 grand a month.
Okay, 3 times 12,
Might be
30.
more because if I'll start the postcards and if
Mm-hmm.
I will sign up with Ylopo, and I'm already spending with Zillow and I have my VA, so, and then just in generally it's through marketing pieces overall. But I want to say, so I should say right now it's about 2,200, and then it's probably gonna go. I mean, you have some closing gifts inside, but when I buy closing gifts, I buy them in bulk, so it's for the entire year. So right now it's 22. But if I'll go, let's say if I add another 2 pieces of marketing, including Ylopo and postcards, that's without events, that's without expenses for events.
I keep my camera.
So that's gonna take me easily to about
If I hear you.
3,800 a month.
3,800 a month. Okay, so then I overestimated on that. So it's about so about 45, let's call it 46,000. And then what were your savings and investment goals for this year?
That's a good question. I didn't pound on that yet.
Okay.
I mean, I do 10% donation from every dollar that comes in.
Love that.
So that's not a reduction from the top, from the gross GCI.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever left,
5.
whatever left, I just want to spend.
So that's
And-
why we have this here, because we want to
Savings,
make
yeah,
sure that you're
Absolutely.
saving, you're investing. Because as an agent, it's really great when you're also a part of that buying experience, right? And you're an owner. I'm sure you're already a homeowner, but when you approach it coming from a more advisor position, because you're also in the market looking for a home, it just elevates that service. You're not really helping a customer. You're really being that advisor to them because you're on that same level, if not above, right? A lot of times agents feel like, oh, I'm serving you, you're buying this house, because they don't necessarily have any of their own investments either. So it always comes from a better contributing place when you're also, have a goal to be buying real estate and investing.
So I can tell you, Audrey, in a perfect world, not taking 2024 as an example, in a perfect world, every dollar that comes into my operation, I split it about 6 or 7 times, meaning that I put 10% donation, 20% I do allocation for taxes in advance for 20%. I don't do 30%. I don't do 30% because I got a really quality CPA.
Right.
So I do 20%. Sometimes I even find myself paying even less. Depends how you play with the numbers, of course.
Excellent.
So what I do 20%, 10% donation, 20% for taxes. So because I want to save money on the side, I don't want to stuck at the end of the year. Once I'm ready to file IRS, I don't have money to pay them.
Right.
I don't want to be in that position. It happened to me a couple of times. not the best situation to be in, like psychologically, mentally, creating a lot of stress. You don't want to be there.
Yep.
So I do 10, 20.
Yeah.
Then I left with 70%.
Yep.
Normally, in good years, when the good incomes comes in, when we're moving between 4 to 6 transactions every month, there is good amount of cash flows flowing to the business and to our life. So what I do with the 70%, so I do that. I leave 30% in the business,
Mhm.
okay, which
Love
will leave
it.
me with 40%. 20% goes to savings, 20% goes to family expenses.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
I was always in a tile in a position. I was always in a position where every dollar that comes in, I save 20% for
Okay.
investments, with savings, investments. Sometimes, if I feel, we're always in the business of circulation. So when I see that I don't have enough circulation for the future, what I do, I take the 20% and I divided it to 10% emergency fund.
Mm.
And by the way, I have all those bank accounts. I have all those business bank accounts open and nicknamed like that. So when I do get my commission check,
Yeah.
I split it like
Automatically
that.
Okay.
Yes. Everything is, I sit down, I write the total commission, and then
Okay.
I just calculate, I split it, I go back to the bank, I go immediately to the bank account, and I start transferring the funds like that. This way, that tactic that I've learned from one of my coaches back when I was with Keller Williams, probably was the best advice through coaching that I spent so much money to get to the bottom of that advice. But that best advice that I got, and it took me some time to adapt, and because it's hard. I mean, you get the funds, and then you have to split it like 6-7 ways.
Right.
I mean, it was tough. But when you're starting to make money and when the business is good,
Mhm.
you enjoy that methodology, and you come to a position where you have enough money in the business, enough money in your personal expenses accounts for your family and your whatever personal expenses you need to have.
Yeah.
You have money in emergency fund, you have money for donations, you have money for investments, and
Mhm.
then life is good. Really, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. I think that's such a great practice. And this is for folks that haven't necessarily picked up that practice so that they can start bucketing things. So it sounds like you've got a really, really great handle on your finances, and you know how to reallocate if you do have a surplus. And I love that there's always room for savings, investments, and your emergency fund too. And John, I don't know if you had to jump on a call, but I don't know if you're like Tommy and also have those buckets. But if not, this little tool here in the tracker is a really great way to make sure that your funds are going to the right place. And if you want to use the expense calculator to really understand what all those expenses are, it can help to make sure that you have some of that remaining amount. And then if not, then you may need to, I think it's back on this, you may need to just look at your personal expenses and see if there's anything that you can cut back on, and then also your business expense to cut out anything that isn't providing a return on investment. But Tommy, that's really, really good news. I was a Keller Williams agent too, and my coach kind of taught me the exact same thing. And just because if you see it in your bank account, you're going to spend it, right? So you have to just hide it.
I guess his methodology is coming from it's coming from a book, like something called Babylon, The Life in Babylon, or something like that.
Oh,
Back in Babylon, it's like
yes.
Richest man in Babylon.
There you go. Thanks, Jess.
Sorry,
The richest man in Babylon.
the richest. Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So that I never read the book. I think I should.
It's a quick read.
Yeah, ask ChatGPT to summarize it for you, Tommy.
Great idea. I like that. I will do that. I'm actually writing it down.
There you go. All right. Okay. So great finance. Okay. So for growth, Tommy, because you said that you want to grow your team, right? You've got one person on your team right now?
I got two. One is, I should say one. One is like, one is there, but she's not there, and I'm probably gonna let her go. I'll fire her.
Oh dear. Yeah.
She's a rookie agent. I give it a try. She was cool and everything, but I don't know. I don't think she's she's not adapting to, she's not aligning with my goals, my request. And I think the the overall turnaround is not that what I was. I wasn't what I expected. I expected more. I gave more. I gave more attention. But I don't think that the focus is to stay as a real estate, or to create a successful real estate career in on her end. So I think, whatever happened for a reason, and I'm pretty happy about it. So no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Not everybody wants to do this full time, so
Yep.
Exactly. And so maybe I'll skip to this. So it's really important to define your culture. I don't know if you have already created a mission, vision, and your values for your company, but by having that and knowing what it is, then it helps define what your culture is going to be. And then once you have that established, it's then easier to be able to identify people who also align with those values and culture. So if you're bringing someone on that just doesn't have that same work ethic as you, or doesn't have that same mission to, be a full-time agent, then it is going to be really hard to have that match, right? So do you guys have a vision, mission, and values statement for your businesses?
No, it's something definitely that we need to create.
Yep.
Actually, like a vision, like overall vision for the business. It's
and for what you're trying to accomplish, and then how are you going to try and accomplish that, right? And then the values that you as a team and your company hold, so that again, when you're recruiting people, you can then show them, hey, this is what we stand for, this is our culture. And then if people are like, you already know automatically this is not going to be a good fit for you, because especially as you grow a team, and Tommy, it's really good that you identified it's not the right fit, because we want to grow a team that has everyone kind of believing in it at the same time, so that you can really have a productive team that all wants to help each other and collaborate, and of course help you get to that mission that you're trying to accomplish. So in terms of when to grow, because it is a hard thing. Sometimes people are like, oh, we just need to bring agents on, but sometimes it's better to actually bring an admin on first than have an agent, because as you probably know, Tommy, it's tough to have an agent when they're not doing anything, because then you're spending so much of your time trying to help them, but then you have all of the other things that you need to do for your business too. So do you have, I think you mentioned you have a VA, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So you feel like you're not spending time doing admin tasks that's preventing you from having those conversations with the three people that you want to talk to every day.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all of the above. It's not just the admin work. It's just in generally just the full operation of the business, like transaction coordinating, marketing, social media, flyers, everything. I mean, that's something that we got to a point where through years, she worked with me for so many years. It's kind of an in-house, so I can train her, and I can help her, and I can improve her, and that's what I've done. And then eventually it's helping me it's taking away from me so many hours of stuff that have to be handled, and it's necessary for the business and for the growth of a real estate company. And I think also it's a great idea. It's as far as vision and business and where I want to take it, and what type of services that I want to provide. I think that the real growth for me as a realtor, and to push myself forward to becoming a broker eventually, and thinking about opening a brokerage and grow and leave the stop drinking the Kool-Aid from Keller Williams that we drank for like 7+ years, and and have the courage to move on, and kind of reinvent myself in the business and push forward. It's the admin support, and this is where I want to build for my own client, my own agents. I want to provide them that type of service, and fund it too with a fraction of price. Fund it too, let them pay for it, but fraction of it. But then also help them to support them in that way, because I think that first of all, no brokerage in the entire wild world will provide you this type of service for a fraction of the price. You will have to pay for it.
Right.
and I think it's going to be able to be a great proposition value. I mean, the value proposition over there lies perfectly, because it's something that eventually within the next year I will be able to put together the right I would say offering for agents. But
Mhm.
again, it's going to be great to approach people that already have experience, and it's always going to be those agents that's kind of stuck between the 1 to 5 transactions a year.
Mhm.
They really want to grow, but they don't have the cash flow, they don't have the funds, the means, the knowledge of exactly what to do.
Mm.
And if you're going to be able to put that, if you're going to be able to wrap it in a nice box with everything you offer, your value proposition will be incredible. So you're probably going to be able to recruit
Yes.
a lot of agents, especially in markets like our market. Like there's like 80,000 agents here. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring up such a good point, Tommy. I actually didn't put it in here, but it's having your ideal kind of an avatar of what agent you want. Because again, that is going to help you identify the right people that want to join your team. And then you can be more pinpointed in that talent identification. So you can do online job postings. That's a pretty simple way to do it, but also using your network to find that talent too, which is also a great touch point. If you're talking about your database and you want to talk to them, you can say, hey, I'm growing my team, which makes you look really amazing. And then you can tell them, I'm looking for this type of person. Do you know anyone who would, believes in my vision and wants to, is looking for a new opportunity. So you're right in having all of those things kind of like spelled out and penned out so that it's easy for you to then find that talent and bring on. And that kind of goes into the operations as well when we're talking about all of the SOPs and just kind of the means in which you do all of that. And then another point, the team development. So once you have a team, it's so hard to recruit and find a really great team member that the last thing you want to happen is have them leave. So making sure that once you have this great group of people who fit your culture, believe in your vision, make sure you reinvest back into them. So creating training programs, having a good mentorship program. I mean, being at KW, I think a big thing I loved about it was their mentorship with my coach. So if you can, when you're thinking about your brokerage, also create a subset of that. So not only do they want to stay, but you're also helping them be more productive, which then increases your bottom line, right? And then just making sure you're pouring back into them too. So having all of these systems in place is super important. Donna, are you interested in growing your team, or how many team members do you have right now?
Yes, I am very interested. It's something that we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's my husband and I, and
Yeah.
our son is getting his license.
Nice.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I had a TC for a bit, but she got a full-time job. So we are looking at hiring a probably 3/4 time office secretary, office personnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's something I have to budget in when I go to figure my goal for the year.
Yeah. And so I think it's great if you have all this additional admin work. So, write down everything that you want to offload to this person, and then also kind of put that TC work in it. I don't know, but down here in Southern California, you can also just hire a TC to close files one at a time as well.
Yeah.
So you may not need to bring on someone full time. You can just kind of, pay for it by the hour. But if you do have all this admin work that you want to offload, then having a TC in-house that can also help with other things might be good as well.
Right. And that's what we want. Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then in terms of growing out into a different area, I have seen agents just say, I want to open up an office in Orange County, but there isn't any rhyme or reason other than they just like the idea of it. Before you grow out into a different area, I think it's important to understand what that focus is. Is it because a lot of people in your market are moving there? What is your connection? So I'm not sure this applies to either of you just yet, but just want to, be mindful of that as well.
Yeah, it does. We're actually looking to, excuse me, we're looking to expand down into Reading which the market is better down there,
Hmm.
and we're only an hour away.
Yeah.
So, sometime this year I'll be buying into the Shasta MLS too, as
Nice.
a broker, and then starting recruiting down there, starting getting listings down there, because
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal. We have to travel an hour to get to anywhere at the other end of our own county anyway. So
Mhm. And is it because you're already sending a lot of business there, or is it because there's just more opportunity in that area?
we did lose out on 2 deals last year because of it. Had
Yeah.
a listing because we're not there.
You're not physically there. Yeah. So, yeah, I think especially in regards to your sales and marketing, how can you make sure you have a presence there? I would just be mindful of, making sure online there is some kind of call there as well. So it doesn't seem, just so that there's a connection, right? And we want to just also show you are an expert in the Reading area too.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So the operations piece is really what helps tie everything together. And Tommy, I think this is probably where the biggest gap for you is, because you have all of these systems that are working for you. So if we're looking at these pillars, your tech stack looks like it's stacked. You've got everything, but there might need to be a little bit more communication in how they all work together. And that's really where the SOPs or the standard operating procedures come in. Do you have any of those penned down?
Through the work with my admin, so it's kind of we do have kind of we have a kind of a basic and operational pillar for the day, as far as like we have specific tasks that we do together every morning, and so we kind of have a morning routine, and then after that it's just case by case, whatever comes in, to take care of like the business overall.
Mhm.
But there's nothing more than maybe like operational pillars for the morning, probably about an hour to an hour and a half for the first hour and a half in the morning, where when she's arriving, and then we started communicating, and then there's specific stuff that she's doing
Mhm.
to service our clients and to service some investors that we work with on the off market side. But overall there's not like it's not set in stone, because it's a very dynamic business. So
Correct. Yes.
you can have listings, and then suddenly you can get leads related to your listings, and then you have to service the call. So then immediately she will jump on it, and then sometime we have the kind of the same type of pillars as far as like social media and our newsletters and our marketing and what we do on a weekly basis. Then yes, and I just actually recently, a week ago, I started to do some I've started to do stories on Instagram and Facebook, and taking all my listings, and we change. It's the first time I'm using it, and I'm getting like incredible exposure for those stories, and so it's something that I'm using right now, just to get even more exposure and getting my listings to be more promoted through tactics, and start and some ideas that I've never done. So yeah. But overall, we seem that we're busy all the time. We seem that no matter what, like her 9 to 6, she's always doing something, except for the 1 hour break that she was going to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But which is great, right? Like I think you already have your procedures that you do. But the reason why this is important is, especially if you want to start growing out your team, you want to make sure that there are some kind of standards, like some bottom line standards that you do every single time, so that you can then, because that's kind of how you create your brand and create the expectations of what clients are going to remember you for and expect the next time they have a transaction with you or an experience with you. And it might also be something that the other agents are attracted to you. Like, wow, I love the way that Tommy runs his business. I want to join it. And so once they do join your team, it's like, hey, this is my playbook. This is what we do every day. This is what we do for all of our listings. This is how we set up all of our marketing and what we do every week for our emails. So it might all be in your head right now, but it's helpful, and maybe your admin can help with this, but just like write out those checklists so that anyone who's coming on board, or if you need to hire another admin, it's really easy for them to kind of take over or adopt your best practices that you do in your business, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit more than just the daily routine. It's actually how you run your place and how you run your business.
Okay, so you pretty much recommending like to put like almost like a manual together, a kind of a manual of putting all like, you know, of our daily routines, what we do as far as like lead generation, what we do as far as marketing, what we do as far as social media, what we do as far as transaction coordinating, to kind of break down all the pillars of our business and then just be more specific on the actions.
Yep, exactly. So it could be a manual. It might even just be checklists. Especially if you're working with a bigger admin team, you might want it to be a project management system where everyone can kind of see where you are in the transaction, so people know, like, okay, this is our listing that we have. This is where we are in terms of the preparation, or this is where we are in terms of the escrow. Right. So it's just a way for everyone to kind of be on the same page, but also ensure that all of the things that you want to get done are getting done, and other people can kind of adopt that as well.
A great tool for that is Sisu, SISU. Yeah, good for teams if you have agents that you're trying to teach what to do when you get into a buyer contract, what to do when you get a new listing. And it's good for your admin to be able to manage the tasks. It gives daily emails with like, here are your tasks for today, and here's what's overdue, which is kind of nice.
What was that called?
Sisu, SISU.
Okay. Yes.
Thanks, Jess.
So now Sisu is all it's the Sisu. It's like pretty much a transaction management tool.
It's a lot. Like you can track your performance in there, but you can also just use certain parts, like certain features of it. The agents that I know that use it for task management.
Mhm.
So you can put in like escrow details, milestone dates, and it will spit out due dates according to those milestone dates of a transaction, which is nice. They're calculated.
Yeah.
Assign different owners.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sisu, there are a few different ones. Sisu is really great, very specific to real estate, which is super nice. But I also work with agents that use Asana as well, which is kind of a more of a broad project management tool, but it can be a little bit more customized. But it's either way, if you are growing a team and you're going to have many hands in a deal, it's really important to have something that everyone can be collaborative on.
So we use Folio, by the way. It's attached to Gmail. If you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah, I've used that one too.
Yeah, Folio it's also an incredible tool, lifesaver, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, of like million emails for every transaction, just organize everything for you.
Mm.
So yeah, Folio is great. I'm using Folio for years, but again, Folio you have to build it, and you have to add people. You have to add whoever is related to the transaction. As far and then again, you can drop daily routine tasks and all the rest. Audrey, are you going to send us that presentation over? Is that something you can share?
I'll share this with you.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's great. If Folio works for you, you know, it really is dependent on your preference, but just as long as it works. And then again, with an SOP, I think if you think about if you're going to be adding a new agent or an admin to your team, how are they going to get up to speed as quickly as possible with all of your tools? Because again, Tommy, it sounds like you have a lot going on. So we just want to make sure that everyone knows, okay, these are all of the things that we're doing and this is how they all work together. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, the operational pillars definitely is going to be something important. It's actually going to be a great goal to put for myself for the year, is to have the business more organized.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my
It's
gosh.
it's all over the place because, you know, I'm just like that. I'm very energetic. So I'm operating on a very high level of energy, but you know, sometimes when I kind of, you know, going into like sluggish, so it's going to hurt me. So absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we can't be great at every single thing, right? Agents are so good at connecting with people, having relationships. And sometimes it's this piece, the systems piece, that isn't their thing that they love to do. And so they kind of let that fall by the wayside because you can be so busy with your day talking to people, trying to schedule appointments. So it makes sense and it's not unusual. So I think it is a great goal to have to start building all these things up. And that's kind of how we're going to tie it all together. with the quarterly planning. And so breaking up all of these different things, because if you're looking at everything we discussed and all of these things that you want to start implementing, it seems like a lot. So what we want to do is have like an annual goal for each of those pillars, so that you can then, okay, what can I start on this quarter and what would I like to accomplish? So this is kind of an example. I actually have this. If you look at the Q1, Q2 tracker on the sheet, this, I mean, don't worry about like the bottom part, but this piece up front has calculated all of the goals that you need for 2025. So it already splits it up. You need to go on 57 listing appointments by Q1, Tommy. You need to take at least 28 listings in order to sell 4. And again, the ratio for this year hopefully gets better, because last year was just it was a really hard year in terms of buyers. Everyone was sitting on listings, which was just such a funny concept after 21 and 22. But this should tally up everything in terms of your metrics, as well as your GCI earned and how much savings you want. But if you want to, and again, these are just examples. So for sales and marketing for your website, like for you, maybe it is, purchase or sign contract with Y Lopo. And then by the end of Q1, and then by the end of Q2, maybe it's like, make sure that you have all of your integrations with Follow Up Boss running. So actually, so again, this is just a calculator. I would just use this sheet as a calculator, but what I've got for you as well is I have a Canva template. So same thing, guys. You can just make a copy of this. I'm just going to put it into the chat. Let me know if you guys got that.
That's the Canva?
Yeah, the Canva. So you should be able to open it. And then if you go to File, you should be able to make a copy. And then, Tom, you may need to actually create a Canva account, which should be pretty easy to do if you have a Google account.
It's my admin name. I can't back account, so shit. I can send her the link.
Okay, yeah. So here, this is where, just as an example, Dawn, I see that you are in and you probably have made a copy.
Yep.
And again, I'll share this deck with you so you can always get back to these links. But this is where you would copy your production volume from here and then just kind of fill everything in. And then your daily and weekly goals, how many conversations you need to do, how many appointments you need to go on a week. And then for your annual business goals, you can actually write out, okay, I want to, for sales and marketing, create a postcard or have 3 events. These are the events I'm going to do. And then once you have all of these, then you can start to fill out, okay, by Q1, these are all of the metrics I need. Again, taking it from this calculator here. But then you might also want to add in, events. Did you have any events that you wanted to do in the first quarter, Tommy?
First quarter, not that I thought about yet. No, but it's probably I definitely want to do.
Okay.
I want to do one probably like something related to spring break once the weather is a little bit better here.
Spring break. So then you would just kind of copy it over here, because this also, you want to track what you've actually done. So this is your goal, and then you can actually write down, okay, did I accomplish each of these? So again, this just helps to break out your overall goals into more bite-sized pieces so that you can keep track of all of the things you want to do. So, get Y Lopo, and then you can kind of check that off on here. So this should help you put pen to paper in terms of all of the things you want to accomplish, create a mission and vision statement, so that by Q2, you can actually hire 2 agents, right? And then if you want, you can just download this and then print it out, keep it by your desk so that you always have your goals in front of you and what you want to accomplish.
That's the business blueprint template you sent over.
Yep, exactly. So you can just make a
Okay.
copy and then do it
So
yourself.
I can tell. So I can tell my admin just to make a copy of it, make a copy once she open it on her end because I just sent her the link.
Yeah.
So make a copy and just send me the PDF.
Yep, exactly. Or you can start typing, or you can tell her, these are all the goals I want to accomplish by Q1, by Q2, by Q3, and then she can print it out for you. But this just helps you to actually write down everything, all the initiatives, and then I'll share this deck with you. Actually, let me just put it into
Once,
the
once you make a copy on the Canva and you save it,
Yeah.
and you save it on your end, I mean, can you create like a Google Doc so you're going to be able to go in and plug in the information?
It's going to be on Canva. So that's why it's helpful if you have an account, because then you can easily go in and edit it yourself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different from a sheet. If you want to just use the sheet, you can. So again, I don't want to confuse you with all of these, but this is where you would put in all of your goals. Some things are filled out based on the calculator for your overall goals. But if you want to just kind of put in all of your goals here, then it might be easier. If sheets are easier for you, then you can use the sheets as well. This can definitely serve as your own copy too.
No, I'm talking about the
Canva.
The Canva. We'd like to have it on a, similar to the spreadsheet
Yeah.
that's provided, so I can go in and I can put the information myself.
Yes. Yeah. And all you'll need is just to create a Canva account, which is very,
Gotcha.
very, very easy.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about anything we went over or want to go in a little bit more depth? I know we've been hanging out a long time, so I really, really appreciate your time and would love to answer any other questions you might have.
Sure.
Anything? I'll stop sharing.
No, I don't have any questions.
I just would like. I mean, I saved the copy of the Google Doc. I just have to figure out that
The Canva.
Canva. Did you send another link? Something? Oh, that's the presentation.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a
Okay.
presentation, and those have all of the links in case you just want to like hang on to one.
Okay. Yes, I just opened it. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I can save it on my end as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, no, super,
Awesome.
super happy to be here. My contact information is on the last slide as well, in case you wanted to call me or email me, anything. If you want to set up a time to just meet one-on-one and see how I can help you kind of dig into these things a little bit further, also happy to do that.
Awesome. Perfect.
Thanks for coming, Audrey.
Yeah, no, thank you. This was so much fun. I actually really love doing this. I'm very passionate about just helping agents be more productive and creating more efficiencies in their business. So thank you guys for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for everything and for all the tips. And I took some notes, and now we have to apply.
Exactly. Yeah. Guys, reach out if you need anything at all. And thanks again. Thank you so much, Jess, for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Have a great rest of your day,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jessica.
Okay. All right.
Perfect, thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks.